So yesterday, I posted a video going over a whole bunch of changes that will be present within One UI 8.5. Today, we're going to take a look at the future of One UI once again, but this time with a lean towards foldable devices. We have a series of tweets here from at Tech Highest on Twitter. I will put a link to this Twitter thread in the description down below so that you can go check it out for yourself. And there is a ton here. So I'm not going to waste any more time. We're just going to go through these graphics, these little videos, one at a time, and go through what we're looking at. All right, so what do we have here in video number one? Continue apps on the main screen. Now, this is something that we have on Z Fold devices already, so this kind of doesn't look like it's that big of a deal until we see an application be open, and then they open the device up, and they open it up again, and yes, indeed, that is an animation for the TriFold, the Samsung Galaxy TriFold device. As you can see, the app is sort of blurred until it's opened up all the way, and then you do have that browser continuing on that inside screen. From there, inside the browser, we're using this little AI option up here in the corner, and since you have such a large screen, it makes a lot of sense to have everything just sort of slide over and have your AI options appearing there. And of course, these are things like summarizing and probably asking questions about the page you're on. Almost think about like having Gemini sort of built into your browser. That's pretty cool, being able to move it around in a little floating window as well. Now, of course, this is, like I said, a large 10-inch screen, but it is a phone. So the phone application is going to have to kind of make more sense on a large screen when it is open and you're taking a phone call. I like that the actual like phone call bit appears to be in a floating window as well. There's your little handle up there at the top. That is pretty interesting. Let's see what goes on from there. So the little call and the little notification, tapping on that, and it goes into this floating window mode. This video seems to be showing how your layout can be duplicated on that inner screen. Let's get a closer look at this here. So we have phone, messages, web browser, and then the camera application, and it comes over, and that's exactly what you get there. And then you get 3 additional apps. Maybe these are suggested apps, maybe these are recent applications, and then you can see these icons and that widget carrying over as well. And then the next page carries over to the other side. So this is, again, what we already have on the Z Fold, just being shown to you on a larger screen. Things are spaced out a little bit more. Cover screen mirroring is what we're going to call that. And of course, just like on the Z Fold, you do have your taskbar. Swipe up from the bottom, and it looks like the exact same taskbar that we have on the Fold 7, which pretty well tells me that those 3 additional icons are probably like apps you've used recently. We'll go full screen on this one so that you can see the details a bit more clearly. This is the camera application. You can see the viewfinder here, and then the most recently taken photo there on the left. But as they start to zoom in really far, the viewfinder turns into this thing that we've had for a while on extreme zooms, where you can see like the full shot and then like what you're seeing in the zoomed in portion. But notice that it goes all the way up to 100x. That is actually really quite interesting because the Z Fold 7 tops out at 30x. Is this a hint? Is there a possibility that the TriFold might have a different zoom camera than the Z Fold 7? This would indicate that is possible. This next one is something that a lot of people are going to be very excited to see. This, my friends, is Samsung DeX running on that inner screen, not plugged into an external monitor, just running on the screen. It's big enough to do it, and they're going to give it to us. That is awesome. You can see here using it as sort of a secondary screen. We're plugged into a monitor, and we're dragging one application from the inner screen over to that external monitor. And then here, the mechanism of getting into this new version of DeX is exactly like it is on the Pixel tablet. We're grabbing that handle up top, we're dragging it to the middle, and boom, we are in that Samsung DeX mode. And then as you can see, drag it back up to the top, and we're back in normal tablet mode. And here we have a view of 3 applications on screen at once. We're going to grab a handle, and we're going to drag this app down, and that's just going to kind of switch places with that other app below. This is pretty typical standard Samsung split screen stuff. And that's what these next few images or videos, I should say, are going to be. Clicking that handle and going into split screen mode and seeing the app drawer on the right hand side, or in this next one, swiping it with two fingers from one side to get that app drawer. I use this all the time on my Z Fold 7. The corner swipe down to get into the floating pop-up view. This is, again, none of this is stuff that's like, wow, I've never seen this before. We're just seeing what it's going to look like on that larger TriFold screen. Now, obviously, one of the last times we talked about this TriFold, multifold, whatever they're going to call this thing, we talked about how there were rumors that there might be an event on September the 29th. Well, that is 3 days away. Nothing's been announced. So it does seem like the later rumors that that event got pushed into October is probably going to end up being true. However, we have heard directly from Samsung executives that they are on track to ship this thing before the end of the year. If that's the case, then obviously something has to happen very, very soon. An October event and a release very shortly after that seems like it is getting more and more likely. Again, like we've heard in the past, expect this thing to launch in China and South Korea. You'll probably be able to import the South Korean version relatively easily if you know the right websites to go to. And then hopefully, we have heard some rumors that if the sales are decent enough, this thing might come stateside or might have a global release as well. That would make, one, importing much easier, or hopefully it could make importing something that you just might not have to do at all. But for now, I think that this stands as one of the biggest sets of leaks about this TriFold in quite some time. Really, truly seeing how this thing is going to operate is very, very cool. Now, just from a strictly financial perspective, we're talking about a device that's likely to be like $3,000. And so for me, that's fairly hard to justify if it's not going to be something that will be for sale available in the United States, where I can give you that handy affiliate link, and then when you guys buy it, I can make an easier profit that way. If I'm just importing the thing for more than $3,000, it's going to be pretty hard to turn a quick profit on that kind of thing. But I must admit, the more I see about this, the more I think, wow, that could be pretty cool. If this thing doesn't feel like an absolute brick in my pocket and it's a 10-inch screen and I'm seeing DeX running on it and all these sorts of things, yeah, I'm getting a little excited, guys. Now, they don't say the source of these, but I'm assuming that these are things that are buried inside One UI 8 updates, maybe the One UI 8.5 updates that are going around. Tech Highest here is probably in conjunction with EvoWiz, has probably dug in and found these things. So you're definitely want to click that link in the description, give him a follow, give EvoWiz a follow as well, because they're going to be, I'm quite certain, posting more and more stuff like this in the coming days and weeks, and then probably beyond that as well, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.